Okay, hello everyone, and welcome to the Non-Fungible Rebels. I haven't been around like forever, so this is the first one for this year. We're starting the new season, so welcome everyone, and the new one starts with Misha. So I'm very happy to welcome Misha Hanin to the show. He's the president of Deep Dive Group. I have connected with him on LinkedIn like ages ago already. I think it's been what 3 years or something like that.
Yep.
Yeah, he's all about digital transformation. He's also starting something really exciting that we're going to talk about for sure. But let's start by yeah, you just telling in general like what you do in terms of like tech and Web3, and we'll just go from there.
Okay. So, Annie, first of all, thank you for having me here. It's my pleasure, and I'm like really feel proud to open a new season. So,
Welcome.
technically, what I do today, I would maybe summarize it in just few words. I help businesses to understand what does it mean to transform digital. Okay, not about like let's convert scan all documents and like use now scanned PDFs. Like it's much bigger. So my role, my attitude always was like, okay, let's understand why it's needed and
Mm.
what benefits going to be. Like forget buzzwords. Okay, and let's see how business transforms and how business is leveraging technology to offer something new, to make new ways of doing even the old things. Okay,
Yeah.
and really grow. Okay, this is kind of my role. I personally like love to be involved, and I'm still involved in a lot of projects by myself in different roles. And yeah, this is kind of what I do. I help to connect business and digital world, if I may say so. Okay, so this is kind of what I do.
Okay, that's cool. I really loved that, the especially the part where you said like without the buzzwords, because I think like during different conversations that we had, like I'm sure you've heard so much of my rant about sort of telling the nice stories, not walking the talk, and kind of using buzzwords, hyping things up, but then like having no substance underneath. So yeah, buzzwords are yeah, I mean they are fine, but it's kind of if it stays at that level, like nothing is gonna change anyway. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I like that part. So in terms of the technology, I mean it's at this point, I think like in Web3 specifically, I have a feeling that the people who truly believe in the technology and are focusing on that side of the story in terms of how to leverage the technology, how to help it amplify experiences, or kind of come up with more creative and innovative products and services, etc., are the people who are probably not so loud, not so visible. They just, head down, just build whatever they are building, but not many people know about that yet. And then the people who are very loud and kind of pretty much everywhere and kind of, quote unquote influencers are the ones who kind of don't really bring so much value to the space these days. So, I mean, I don't know, like, how do you see in the future? Is it possible to balance this out a little bit? Because it feels like we go from one extreme to another extreme, right? Like in the bear market, like we end up with these builders who silently keep building and staying around, and everyone else disappears. In the hype cycle, like we go to the other extreme. Like how do you see this whole dynamic going on?
Like it's always a hype of anything new. Okay, I remember the hype when Uber was just announced and people started to use Uber, and it was like, oh, I'm riding an Uber, right? I
Yeah.
can imagine what was the hype when the first TV was released on the market. Okay, and people were I remember my childhood. Okay, and when my dad, and it was years ago, installed electrical water heater in our apartment. Okay,
Okay.
and it was replaced. Like we had a water heater that was actually operated by fire. We needed to create fire to
Yeah.
heat the water,
I
how,
remember those. Yeah. Yeah.
like
Yeah. I remember those. Yeah.
those chunks of bricks, and like it was crazy. And I remember when it was installed, all our neighbors, probably for 3 months, were coming just to see the installation, how it's built, and like it was a hype. Like it's crazy. And then like everybody wanted to install it, and people were looking for ways to where to buy it, how to buy it, like how to install it, like. And suddenly like people are, oh, we're burning the electrical cables in apartment because it's not meant to it. And like suddenly experts pop up, like who knows how to rewire cable, like it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
the same buzz. Okay, uh, what I would say will happen when we will get to the level that it's becoming everyday part of our life. So, for example,
Yeah.
today nobody talks about radio, nobody talks about TV, nobody talks
Mm.
about cell phones. Okay, nobody cares. It's already kind of embedded in our life that we even don't realize that we use this, that we
Yeah.
consume.
True.
We
True.
only realize our dependency on this technology when something goes down. So when Facebook was
Absolutely.
almost a day down, and nobody was able to use WhatsApp, nobody was able to use Instagram and Facebook and all that, suddenly like, oh my God, our life's so dependent on
What a
Facebook, right?
disaster. Yeah. End of the world.
End of the world, right? So
Yeah.
when we will get to the level that this technology piece doesn't matter what we're talking about, if it's a Web3, if it's whatever new tech, like
Yeah.
now everybody is getting crazy about
AI. Yeah.
like I always say I, right? Because like come on guys, like um, from technology perspective, probably 80% of things that labeled as AI, it's not AI, it's stupid mathematical, in the best case scenario, ML. Okay, but nothing to do with AI. But another story, don't want to go there. Going back to your question, I would say the moment when we will start living with technology and it will become our part of our day-to-day life,
Yeah.
then we will see the like real transformation. Okay, and our life will transform, right, differently, and we observed it. Okay, like I remember beginning of 19th when cell phones started to pop up. Okay,
Yeah.
and like oh, it was crazy. It was crazy about cell
I
phones,
remember
and
those
people
days.
people
Yeah.
were like, oh, the connectivity is terrible and the battery is dying, and like, but everybody still wanted and wanted and wanted. And
True.
today, like nobody cares. Nobody cares about even what cell phone they have, whatever. And even the cell phone producers, they're not even advertising cell phone anymore. They're advertising camera, they're advertising speaker in it, they're advertising screen in it, like not cell phone.
Yeah. No one uses the phone as like usually. Like you don't make too many voice calls like using it as a phone anyway.
Yeah,
But yeah.
yeah.
So true. So true. I think, but the thing is, like, when you mention all this, it's really cool because, like, when you think about it, like, no one actually knows how all these things that we use in everyday life in terms of tech actually works, and no one actually cares, which is kind of the way to look at it, right? Here in the Web3 space, like, everyone talks about the tech and tries to explain it and tries to educate the masses in terms of what it is and how it works and all that stuff. And I just feel like that's kind of an uphill battle, and it's kind of it doesn't even make sense. Like, I don't really need to know how it works in order to use it, right? So the user friendly stuff is what they should focus on. And like, let's be honest, like, just to onboard someone like a normie to this space is it's such a big deal. It's such a hassle, right? Like, if you really want to onboard someone to a truly decentralized ecosystem, it's gonna take a while to just to do that.
If you ask me, we will go through at least two big massive evolution phases. Okay,
what are those?
From a technology perspective? Okay, this is my view. Okay,
sure.
First one, I would say when we like, let's say, I don't want to throw to the air numbers, but big number. Let's say when 90% of all businesses will die. Okay, and I believe they will die. Okay, like in this particular domain, because as you said, nobody gives a fuck. Sorry for my French, about technology. How I do authentication. Who cares? If I go to the restaurant, I don't care how chef cooks my dish. I want to enjoy the dish. I don't care how satellite phone transfers the signal. I consume it. I don't care how film get created. When I go to cinema, I enjoy the film, right?
Yep.
So when all the buzz, educational buzz, whatever, like I believe it's the recipe for failure. When all those companies will die, okay, and we will be at the first evolution phase when new companies will pop up, okay, and I believe it's going to be new companies. Maybe like number companies will adopt and learn, but if they didn't learn for the last 10 years and they're still trying to educate everybody on Earth what is Bitcoin, what is blockchain, how it works, and what is Web3 now, and like, who cares? Okay, so
and the buzzwords and all those buzzwords.
So all those companies that didn't learn the lesson yet, they will die. All of them, no exception. How big they are now. New companies will pop up and will start talk about the value that this technology brings.
Yeah.
In my example of restaurant, if they will start advertising the product, McDonald's is not advertising how they're growing potatoes, how they do transportation of the potatoes or burgers from farmers. They're not talking about logistics. They're not talking about anything.
Yeah.
They're showing us McDonald's, the French fries, the ice cream, the coffee. They're not talking about like how they're growing those coffee beans, where they're buying them, all the logistics, transparency, like nobody cares. Okay, so when those companies will start showing real value that get created or advanced because of this technology, we will be facing the first evolution. Why I said we're going to probably see two evolutions, two cycles of evolution. When we will be somewhere in the middle of the first evolution, we probably will realize that something's still going wrong, and we will need to do a little bit of pivot and adjustments down the road. Okay, and then we will hit real world transformation. Okay, and this is where it's going to be the next level of the breakthrough on the technology level. Exactly, if we will take a look on industrial revolution that started about 150 years ago. Like, think about it. Thousands of years of human evolution, okay, was like kind of preparation, and then industrial revolution came. When we will take a look when the first transistors get released, like last 50 years of technology, like in electronics and everything, it's insane. It's hard to even consume how fast we were growing and how much we changed. Okay, so I do envision that we will go to two big phases, and then this before we will hit a real breakthrough. Okay.
So by your personal predictions, how long will it take until we get there?
10 years.
10 years. So another 10 years and we should be good.
Yeah. And
Okay.
10 years, I don't know if we will be good in 10 years. We will be definitely in a different phase.
Well, better. Okay.
I hope so.
Hopefully better than now. Okay.
You know what? I'm quite optimist, right? And when I say like in a better way, in a better phase, I do believe so, because if we'll take a look, how technology over the whole human history influenced on us, it always progressed and it always helped us to grow and get to the levels that we didn't even think about it before. Okay. Yeah. And sometimes it's a harsh lessons. It's really tough lessons and tough times that we are going through. But technology eventually brings good value to what we like to our life. Okay, so I do believe that in 10 years we will be in a different, better world. So for sure.
Okay. Makes sense. Yeah, I would tend to agree with you on this one. So yeah, I think there is also another point here, because like I have a feeling that in tech, like specifically in Web3, because that's what I'm more familiar on, right? Like the issue is that we keep creating and building products and services for that specific niche only. So we keep kind of, just feeding the same, like serving the same audience, which is a very small audience compared to, to the masses and to the world. So I have a feeling like, we need to come up with how are we going to use this technology to solve like real problems of, regular people out there, and kind of problems that are, as you said, everyday problems. So we will later on use that product or service on everyday basis, right? And I think we're not, like, very few founders actually look at it from that perspective. It's more about, okay, we have this Web3 crowd, we have these so many wallets, we have these people who are into DeFi. Let's come up with something in DeFi to make it better and to serve these people better, and just get part of the user base from the other services. So I feel like that's kind of, we're just self-serving all the time for years and years in a row, and kind of, no one actually has any breakthrough to get out of that bubble from that perspective.
Yeah, like I see on this like the same way, and I'm as a like I like to believe that I'm futurist, right? The way I see like the future is going with the and how technology is adjusting, we need to get out of the current thing. Okay, and if you will take a look on the history of blockchain in general, okay, and we like it or not, Web3 tied to the blockchain still, right? If you look on the entire history up until now, probably 99% of all implications and all use cases that survived and still with us, it's somehow related to the financial implications, trading. Okay, let's create something and start trading. This is how we make money. Let's lend it. Let's adopt the banking philosophy to the blockchain. Let's try to mix something, whatever. It's still kind of, in many cases, we're looking for a problem to solve.
We so invent problems actually very often, like, we don't even have those problems.
But in some cases, we kind of create a solution when we have no problem yet at all to solve. And then like, okay, we have this now. How are we going to deal? Like, where's the problem? So unfortunately, this is what we see right now. Okay, quite a lot. So the financial implication, more for trading, selling and buying and whatever, and just gain capital, like capital gain. Okay, this is all those implications. If then it's not a scammy project, whatever, they still survive and still with us. Okay, despite the market position. Okay, when we will take a look on technology implications, like blockchain implication in outside world, not financially related, we don't really see too much adoption. Okay, despite again all the buzz that helped companies through IPO, through publicity or whatever, there's not so much real production use cases of the blockchain. Like many of them, and in many cases it was amazing proofs, and like the POC was built, MVP was built. Business got a lot of confirmations that this technology is really needed, can help, but it's not adopted. Okay, so I always encourage those business leaders to go and do digging to understand why. It's not technology, something else that prevents the adoption. However, when we will get to the level that we're starting and architects around the world will start creating products by leveraging this technology without emphasizing, without even talking about it, this is going to be like something unique. Show me today any product on the market. Let's call it digital product. Okay, that where the leader of this company stays on the stage and freaks out about performance of his Oracle or SQL database. Show me one idiot that does it. Come on, nobody. Like, nobody talks about like how they authenticate users. It's kind of, you cannot give someone access to asset, doesn't matter what asset, file on inside corporate storage or VPN connection or whatever, like ticket to the movie. Nobody talks about how they do this. When you go to watch a new cinema, whatever, like, do you really care even how they value scanning the QR code of your ticket before they're letting you in? No, nobody talks about it. Why we non-stop talking about this technology? Technology is amazing for particular use cases, not everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just complicates it, right? Like, when you do not actually need blockchain technology and you artificially put it inside, it only complicates stuff. It only makes it harder. I mean, it's just...
It's like if you're cooking, preparing cake, okay? Would you put there ketchup and salt and pepper? Probably not, right?
Yeah.
So this is the big thing, right?
Yeah. I think the issue is... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. And I also, I got involved in a lot of different technology projects outside of the blockchain domain. And I almost, at the beginning of every single project where we get involved, I'm getting a question. When I'm sitting with executive board and we're discussing art of possibility and approaches, almost always, no exceptions, they're asking, and I love that they're asking, so it means that they were already thinking about this. Misha, what do you think about blockchain? Is it gonna help us here? And in many cases, I'm like, no. They're like, come on, Misha, you're a fan of blockchain. You in blockchain almost from first days of existence. I'm like, yeah, but why would I even push it to you if I, by myself, don't believe that it will bring value to you? How I will sell it to you, the concept, right? So it kind of makes no sense. And then classical example, manufacturing, one company, one manufacturer, one location, having zero desire to grow, not going to open any other branches, any manufacturers, nothing. What the hell I need to push blockchain down?
Yeah.
Right?
No, I mean, I totally agree with you. And I think that's the issue, right? Like, there are many quote unquote, I don't know, blockchain advisors, Web3 advisors, NFT advisors, whatever, you want to call these people, like tech consultants, digital transformation experts, whatever you call them, that are basically it's also like a slightly ethical thing, right? Like if you push it to them, then they will hire you to consult them about it, so you're kind of artificially creating a demand for your services. So it's always kind of this thing, whether you want to be honest and true to the actual thing, and kind of just tell that it's not needed, or you're thinking about, okay, you know what, like the bear market is going to come, let's just accumulate as much as I can just to go through it, right? So I think very often, like advisors have advised stuff, not because of the need for it, not because of the actual organic sort of circumstances, but because of kind of personal matters and personal reasons. Because I too have seen many projects where kind of they put in the tech, they start sort of integrating stuff, complicating everything, and then up to a point where they are so stuck that kind of their main business, which kind of operated pretty fine, ends up having issues just because of that whole kind of mess and chaos that happened because of that, right? So I'm with you, like if you don't need it, you don't need it. It's this tech should be used only if it actually adds value, or amplifies, or kind of creates things that you couldn't otherwise without it. Other than that, it's just so for example, I'm personally still thinking about the NFT technology, for example, and publishing, for example, publishing, writing. And to me, for now, I haven't found like a good solution, because if you put that into your published books, like you're just over complicating Amazon purchases. Like if I can just buy a book through Amazon, why the hell would I actually want to do it through NFTs and wallets and all that stuff, unless it's a collectible with a whatever, like, right? So for now, like, I don't, I'm very passionate about that subject, but I don't really see the need of actually putting additional layers of barriers between me and my readers at the moment, right? So it needs to be kind of it needs to be where it needs to be, and then where you kind of can skip it, you have to be honest and kind of decide to skip it for now until you find a better solution. But I agree with you. Let's move to the go ahead.
Before that, like, I just want to make a really small comment. I don't want to flush to the toilet all the advisors, whatever, just because they do what they do. Like, I actually always ask those business leaders when they ask me about this, even if I don't believe that blockchain is needed in their business. I ask them one question still, okay? And I'm like, guys, when you will answer this question, I will show you how blockchain can be used here. And the question is really simple. Are you willing to label yourself as R&D company, and you will invest time and effort, and you will know that you're going to lose money, but you really want to do R&D, research and development, and who knows, maybe together we will find something unique that will change this world. Are you willing to do that? Okay. If answer is yes, unfortunately, up until now, answer is always no. Like, we need to make business. It's a business. It's not R&D. I'm not a scientist. I'm not. We are here to make money. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So let's move on. Okay. This is kind of what I still believe. I believe in R&D. Like, I'm burning so much resources in our company, in our companies, the part of the group, a lot of resources, because we do massive R&D constantly. Okay, but this is kind of our niche. We operate in it, and we know how to deal with it. And like, somebody would say, like, we are burning resources, but I'm saying, like, we're gaining knowledge. We're gaining knowledge, and this is why I can comfortably talk about almost any domain, technology domain, where I operate. Okay, so this is R&D. Like, without even creating a product, whatever, gaining knowledge, it's a knowledge, right? Like Edison said, how many times he failed, like, before he invented the lamp? More than thousands. And he said, like, yeah, like I found all those
Ways that it doesn't work.
ways
Yeah.
that do not work, right? So it's the
Yeah.
same. Okay, so this is kind of my 5 cents on that.
Yeah. I mean, but that needs persistence, perseverance,
Absolutely.
patience, all that stuff, which is, yeah, those traits are not very common in this space,
No, no, no.
unfortunately.
And
So,
talking, and you mentioned about Amazon and book, for example.
yeah.
This is actually also quite interesting. Business will flush out unnecessary complexity.
Yeah.
Okay, where we're going with the like overcome complex approach, we are dying as a business. Like
Mm.
I remember, like beginning of 2000s, one of my companies, we created a company and we created a product for remote control that was like targeted for enterprises, for support centers, like literally connect remotely, like TeamViewer today. Okay, we built this and it was just like fabulous and fast and secure and everything. And with our paranoia on security and protection, and I was
Mm.
crazy paranoid on on how I protect the product, that nobody will steal it, the product not going to be leaked on the dark web and virus and whatever. I want people and enterprises to buy it. Yeah, we did it. We don't have even one license leaked, but the business dead. Okay, because the amount of headache we created to users to activate every single license. Okay,
Okay. I see.
that enterprises at some point said, Misha, go yourself. Who is this?
By the
And
way, feel free, because my podcast is labeled as explicit, so it's fine. I know my guests. I know they are gonna do it, so I just labeled it and moved on.
so this is kind of what happened. And the product, and when this stupid head realized that this is actually killing the business, was too late, and business is dead.
Mm.
Okay, so we will see the same. Like, and you said, like, why would I overcomplicate my sales cycle? If people want to buy a book, I don't care if 5 versions will be stolen. If I will sell 100,
Actually,
right?
it's interesting point, because I remember, like, when I was just starting, like, my writing journey, like back like 10 years ago or something, I knew writers who actually leaked themselves their books into those pirate sites, so people will actually download it, because it raised awareness around their books, and then people who were kind of stealing those pirate copies later on were coming to Amazon and buying their other books. So that was kind of a strategy to market their stuff. So, like,
It's used by
it's
enterprises as well.
oh, really? Okay.
Oh yeah, like I'll give you 2 examples. Okay, I was involved like in middle of 19th, like end of 19th, and as a technological advisor for one of the companies
Mm.
that were creating some digital product used by enterprise in the storage domain and all that stuff. And
Yeah.
one day I saw on one of the forums people like, oh, here's the link for the cracked version that was released 2 days ago.
Okay.
And I'm coming to the company and going to their CTO. I'm like, what the hell? Like, you guys like fucked up. And they're like, oh, Misha, thank you for telling us this, but it's approved by board. One of the developers from the company leaked it. Okay, because we don't care if it's going to be used by technical people like you in your home lab. For me, it's important that people will become familiar with it. Okay,
Okay.
and then
Makes sense.
enterprises and businesses, they will buy it. I always bring as example Microsoft. If you will remember the Microsoft life cycle from any first version, okay, the security was, here's the serial number.
Yeah.
Copy it. Annie, call me on the phone. I will give you my serial number. You type it. Boom. you got your version of Windows, you got your version of Office, you got everything.
Yeah.
Come on, the Microsoft today, 200,000 people around the world. They have brilliant minds. They could have created enough headache that would prevent people from stealing, right? They don't
Yeah.
want to do this. Why? Because in the real world, in the business world, business not gonna use stolen version. Okay?
Yeah.
Why?
True.
Why? And if you using it at home and you becoming familiar with a product, when you coming at work, you forcing your employer to buy you this version, right? I'm oversimplifying, of course, all this concept, but this is the concept.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you
No.
take a
No.
look
I
on
get it.
all the open source community, how they make
Yeah.
money, right? They make money on support. They make money on updates. They make money. There's multiple streams how they make money, but they
Yeah.
giving us product as open source for free. Just
Yeah.
go learn it, fall in love with this product, and that's it. This is what they want.
That's the thing. Like, it has to be good, and people have to love it for it to work. Because if you can give out stuff for
And we
free,
just
but if it's shit, yeah,
we're just closing the loop. It has
exactly.
to bring value. It has to be
Yeah.
something that brings value that people would love, and then people will pay.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Let's move to the most exciting part. Like, we've been talking about all this stuff, which is, useful. But you have this upcoming project, which is super exciting. So maybe you should show like people where you are broadcasting from, and we can start talking about your upcoming journey. Or you can tell about it. Like, don't show.
I will tell
just
because it's
tell
still
about it.
kind of preparation and
Yeah. So guys,
question.
I've seen it. It's true. So whatever he's saying, I've seen the the actual
Surrounding.
place. So go ahead. The surroundings. So go ahead.
So I am right now literally sitting inside the sailing boat, sailing yacht, and that I spent last 2 years to make it as much as possible digitally enabled. And around like beginning of this month, I announced that I'm going to do a world round trip on a sailing boat for the sake of proof and demonstration that technology is truly enabled. And technology helps us technically in every aspect of our life. And yes, I'm a passionate skipper and sailor. And I know like the technology that I'm using today, okay, that wasn't in this sailing world like 50 years ago. This technology allows normal people, not people that like sailing for life, do crazy things. Okay, so it's literally an enabler. And I'm president of a group of companies, and I'm personally involved heavily in many projects, and many of them I'll be running from the boat. Despite the fact where I'm staying, what I'm doing, if I'm in the middle of Atlantic or whatever, I'll be doing it from here. Okay, so I put quite a lot of thoughts in what could be done and how it could be done, what tech should be embedded in the on the board. I'm proud to see like during last assessment of the boat last year, I got a statement that this is the most technologically advanced boat in the region.
Nice.
And it's like, of course, it's in particular class. It's a sailing boat, but it means a lot. Okay, and I got to the level that I can operate this boat like one-handed, like just by myself, without any other help, without crew. Would I do this? Probably not. Like it, why? But it's totally possible. And In few days, we starting our first leg. So we leaving Dubai, and we'll be sailing to Mediterranean. We are going to Athens, okay, and then the goal from Athens, the next leg is going to be through Gran Canary and Atlantic crossing toward east coast of North America, Central America, and then we will see how wind will go. Okay, so this is the kind of the project. If I
That's
can
super
call it
interesting. And you're gonna document it, right, on your blog, you said? Like you're gonna
yeah,
document the journey?
yeah, I'll be documenting it. I'll be creating quite a lot of content on that.
Nice.
And so again, it's not gonna be just classical blog or vlog or whatever we will call it about sailing. It's not. It's more about how technology helps us in everyday life. Okay, on everything. Okay, how I detect extra level of whatever water on the boat, how I measure differently by leveraging technology level of diesel in the tanks, how I communicate with my team during the team meetings, how I'm crafting documents and working on business proposals or something like that when I'm in the middle of the Red Sea. Like
I
many,
think
many
that's super cool. I think
different things.
that's really exciting, and knowing you for so many years, like I wasn't really surprised. Like it's kind of it's pretty extreme and crazy thing to do, but like knowing you, I'm kind of yeah. I mean, Misha can pull it off. Like I'm not that surprised. But how did you come up with the idea in general? Like you're just combining your passions into one and just coming up with something that mashes those up together, or like
It's actually I would say multiple things that happened. So I spent my life like more than 30 years in technology domain. Started with cyber, then networking, then altogether cloud, like blockchain development and architecture. Like all my life, I'm in technology. On another side, outside of the tech, I always was the Poseidon. I always was in the sea. I'm passionate about diving, scuba diving. I got to the pro level as a dive master.
All
So
right.
I always do. And during the COVID, I actually one of the it was a moment literally at the beginning during the global lockdown where I like literally stayed in a hotel room for really long time. I started to think about it like, okay, I don't want to be in this self-isolated prison. How I can get a little bit more freedom. And actually, sailing was always my life dream. Like sea always was my life dream. And during the COVID, I started to think about it much more. And what also happened, I got COVID, and
Yeah,
really
I
hard.
remember that. Yeah.
And one night, I believe that I'm not gonna see sunrise. Like I barely survived, and it was before any vaccines, before anything. And 1 month after that, I because immune system was totally destroyed, I got some other virus that actually almost killed me. And thanks to technology, again, I stayed alive. Yes, I spent 2 weeks in the ICU unit, but I really believe, like no doubts, if it would happen to me 50 years ago, I would die, like
Yeah.
100%. So in those 2 weeks, I realized like how life is short. Okay, and we need to live it differently. I decided to live it differently. So when I was dispatched from the hospital, I went back to diving, like crazy diving. I did like I have no idea. Like in 1 year, I did more than 200 dives.
Oh wow.
uh, upgrade was doing upgrades on my certificates and everything, and I decided to buy a boat. And I bought a boat, and I didn't know how to operate it, how to sail it. I didn't know anything. Like I had hours in my hours of watching YouTube videos in my head, but I never operated it. And even the fact that I tried to do really official way, I signed up for the course and I wanted to learn how to operate. I went to the yacht clubs and all that stuff, and I tried, but COVID killed the programs, and the
Mm.
sessions were postponed and postponed and postponed. So, long story short, I jumped on the boat with only 4 hours of being on the boat in my life, and together with one other friend, and we sailed from Romania to Dubai in 1 month. And we
Yeah.
sailed, and I learned a lot. Fast forward today, I have the highest level of certification. I'm a master of yachts, so it's not a problem for me anymore. But what's important, when we were sailing and we stayed on the water for entire months. Like we sailed, two of us, just two people on the boat. We sailed 24/7. Our shifts were like 3 hours shift, like day and night. So I was always thinking on like why it's still operated in ancient ways. Like why
Mm.
we don't use tech here and there. Why? Like a lot of things, and that was coming to my mind. When we get to Dubai, I started to do massive research, and I'm like, huh, it's interesting. Technology is not here at all, at least not on those spots. Like when we're talking about tankers, cruising liners, whatever, yes, they fully
Mm.
equipped. But when we're talking about sailing yacht, when we're talking about small yacht, not like super luxury yachts, it's not there. So I started to do a lot of R&D by myself. I started to design some tech by myself. I started to look for ways to integrate and interconnect different components, different ecosystems, different things. And I designed my own digital board. And not just designed, I built it. So I did a lot of rework on my board. And I said, like it was a mantra in my head always, like you spent your life on technology. Now it's another opportunity to demonstrate that technology is really beyond buzzwords. Show to the
Yeah.
planet how technology helps outside of the server room, how technology
Yeah.
helps outside of like let's have a video call or let's have like email communication, how it can literally be part of the day-to-day life. So it was sitting in my mind like for about 2 years.
I
And
think
at
it's
some point,
great. It's yeah. It's
and
just
at some point, I'm like, okay, time to pull the trigger.
yeah. I
And
think
here we are.
it's awesome, and I'm absolutely sure that your experience this time with sailing is going to be completely different than that 1 month with your friend from Romania to Dubai for sure. Because like yeah, you've thought this through a lot, so it's going to be very interesting to see you sort of sail, live, and work from the boat and see how it rolls out. So yeah, the other thing I think that is important is that very often we have all these bucket lists and dreams and kind of we're thinking about stuff, and we're always kind of have this thing in our mindset like one day when this happens, that happens, I'm gonna
What
do
if this
this
day
and
is not
that.
coming?
And that's exactly that, like why do we have to have like wake up calls in order to pull the trigger and finally go for it, right? So I think like
Yeah.
very often like you just have to switch your mindset into, I don't know, maybe even imagining something happened if it didn't, just to push yourself through and go ahead and do the things that you always wanted to do, because as you said, one day may not never come, and then you will end up with all these regrets and dreams
And you
that
know what,
kind of
Danny? Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to encourage anyone to change their life.
Yeah,
Okay?
no. I wasn't either. I was just saying, yeah.
Adjust. So, for example, I'm not dropping what I'm doing. Not at all.
Yeah.
I'm not stepping down from whenever I am. I'm just doing, maybe it's a wrong word here, but I'm doing a little bit of pivot. How I gonna do things?
Yeah, you're doing it
Okay?
your way, basically. You're doing the same
So,
things, but
so
your
I'm
way.
just interconnecting multiple pieces and
Yeah.
introducing new way of doing things. And this is what I truly believe real digital transformation is all about. How technology helps us to do even the legacy stuff in a new way, in a more
Yeah.
optimized way. In like how, like last year, my son and I, we did a really small trip here in the region. We left UAE, we left Dubai, we went to Oman, and it was 3 days of storm, like rough weather. And at some point, and it already was so natural for me, okay, to constantly kind of validate, like even what I see or what I don't see through technology. Tech probably saved us at that trip during the storm, because maps not really up to date. Okay, it's another topic that I can talk forever also. And we were navigating, and autopilot was taking us in particular route, and just for the sake of, again, validation and constant monitoring and validation and adjustment, like in a business, like in a technology, right? Consulted the thermovision and night vision equipment on the boat, and in the middle of the night, I see on the screen that we're going straight to the rock.
Oh my God.
And you don't see it. And on the map, this rock about 500 meters away. Away. Not in front of me, away. And I see how we're going on it through technology. Human eye wasn't helping me there. And I'm like, wow, this is without even realizing, like, yeah, let's see, let's use it. Boom. It's changing the way we operate. Okay. And 100 years ago, people would say, like, oh, wait a second, I'm not gonna sail at night.
Yeah.
Because of those reasons. We cannot see. Oh, we cannot sail because tonight we have no moon, no stars. We're going in a pitch black sea. We did it when we were sailing through from Romania. We did it. We had 3 days, actually 3 nights, no stars, no moon, nothing. And that moment we had no tech, so it was a struggle, big struggle. Now, tech is enabled. So
yeah.
You need to stop me. I can talk about this
No.
forever.
You're like, yeah, no. I was just, trying to evaluate your appetite for risk. So, it feels like this upcoming trip will be less risky than the one you already took. So, it should be fine. Okay, so, I guess we should wrap it up. I will include the links to your website in the show notes, so people can go and check out more details and then see some updates in terms of, once you start the journey, what's going to happen there. I will definitely be following that, and we'll be in touch for sure to make sure you're still around and kind of still working while enjoying the sea. So we'll be in touch for sure. People will know where to find you. And good luck, have safe journey, get amazing experiences, and I think it's really unique project, because I kind of we always talk about the technology, but kind of in a way which is not often relatable, and sometimes like tech people, when they talk about even stuff they are passionate about, it may get extremely boring. So I think this is going to be way more interesting to follow up on, and also learn things about the tech as we go. So yeah, I mean, have a really nice trip, and good luck
Thank
with
you.
everything.
Thank you so
When are
much.
you leaving? In few days, you said.
In few days. Like
Okay.
we're literally waiting just for a paperwork, some stamp, exit permit, and we're good to go. Everything else is ready.
Awesome. So bon voyage then, and
Thank you so much.
we'll be in touch.
And thank you for the invite, Annie. Appreciate it.
Sure. Okay, so we'll be stopping the live stream. Thank you everyone who was watching. Some will be watching it on replay, and the audio version of the podcast will be coming soon. Take care, everyone. Bye.
Bye.